Most of the people working in the port have seen it all, and rarely are surprised by events, activities, or people making their way through. But that cannot be said for the bubbly and jolly Bethan when she shows up portside. With a skill requirement of 90 herb lore, we are introduced to the biologist from the Varrock Museum, who is keen on studying the sea orphans in their natural habitat. After conversing with the player, she is unimpressed with their progress in this field, but still excited by the opportunity to study these wondrous creatures. Bethan makes contact with the museum to secure funding for an expedition to High G, where the greatest number of sea orphans reside. Her gold comes through, but as you can imagine, the sea orphans were not happy about being poked and prodded like cattle as she studied them. Despite this nuisance, the sea orphans were willing to help Bethan build a laboratory on the island to help shed light on their affliction. Upon returning to port, she tells the player that a group of pirates, known as the Blazing Lanterns, have kidnapped one of her test subjects, a mutated sea orphan named Phinia, and strapped him to the front of their ship as a figurehead. As the sea orphans have a higher resistance to diseases than humans, trying to figure out how to implant this ability on humans was why Phinia had teamed up for these tests. Bethan asks the player to recover him so that she can find out about his aversion to his own poisons. Following a successful voyage, Bethan sends word that the lab was finished being built, and Phinia has been brought back. Bethan comes to the player with some exciting news about the sea orphan's resistance to illness. Phinia has agreed to help her, but to further her research, she needs the player's help in obtaining a sample of Gielinor's pox from a disease-riddled abandoned ship found in the Scythe region. Gielinor's pox has some incredibly nasty effects on the body, which create lateral buboes and give a feverish effect, with a high mortality rate. This was deliberately injected into Phinia under controlled conditions in order to examine the sea orphan's phenomena. After her return, she is ecstatic by her progress, although the player is not so sure, commenting that they have heard that Phinia doesn't look too great. Bethan retorts that it is a necessary cost, and using the metaphor that all farmers tend to have a few diseased crops. Fast forward, and whatever the worst case scenario was, it played out that way, as a mutated plague is now rampant among the sea orphans of High G. In order to exact a cure, the biologist seeks a rare medicinal flower to aid them. This can be found on the islands of the Bowl region, and is known as the Acrolis plant. Upon a successful mission of returning with a remedy and curing the infected orphans, Bethan studies the tampered plague samples and concludes that the plague's release could have only been one thing, an inside job. She explains to the player that she has discovered who broke into her lab and released the plague. Well, it was Phinia, of course, who had escaped quarantine and rejoined the Blazing Lanterns, the clan that had kidnapped him. Bethan believes that he is suffering from Damenheim syndrome, a psychological condition where the captive identifies with his captors. Phinia and the Blazing Lanterns are gathering a fleet of 3 ships to sail to the Pincers region and kill all of the sea orphans. To counteract this, Bethan proposes to stop them using her vast stores of acid and explosives that she has concocted from all of the various experiments with the plant material on the island. Following a successful last voyage, the biologist reports that they were able to sink 2 out of their 3 ships with exploding vials, although Phinia did manage to escape in the chaos. Bethan will stay with the sea orphans as there is still much to learn from them, and she believes she still holds the keys to success in helping them improve their lives. Thank you all once again for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Runescape. Forever.